Okay, this is part 2 of the Advanced File Manager tutorial. If you have not already, please watch part 1 to know what this is and how it works a bit, and yeah. Now let's get into code. Now when the form loads, what we first do is load all these drives in here to the Drive Explorer. That's what we're gonna do now. So first we make a string array, which means an array holding several strings, which I called IDs for drive IDs. This is actually from another file manager tutorial. I just improved it a bit. Next we director equals directory.get logical drives, and this just gets all your drives you have on your computer. And now we go for each string ID and IDs. That means it for every single drive we do this, and we do this is the Drive Explorer tree view directories.nodes.add, and we want to add ID, so we want to add the drive that we are actually on, and list view explorer, which is the file explorer, .items.add ID, comma 8. Now why comma 8? And that is because 8 is the symbol we're gonna use, and if you look at your image list, you can see that number 8 is the drive icon. And that's what we do, we add the drive with the drive icon. Yeah. Next function that we've got is the assign icons function. Now this first needs a string array files to work, because you need all the files in the directory. Now we go for each string fl in files, and what this whole block actually does is it goes through every element of through every file in the directory you're in before it loads, and then it checks which file format it is, if it is a picture file, image file, or video file, or what do I know, and assigns the right icon for it. So we say, for example, for picture files, if fl, which is the file we're on, dot ends with, this is just the ending, it checks with, it actually says ends with, .jpg, and what I did is I just made capital letters and non-capital letters to not get any errors or stuff. Sometimes it's capital, sometimes it's non-capital, so yeah. And you just do that for every ending you want to use. I use JPEG, PNG, and GIF, and below that, so if it has one of these formats, then we add it to the Explorer with the icon number 2. And if you look on your list, it's the image icon number 2. So yeah, and then else if, and do it for every format you want to do, and always give it all the endings that you want to have. I did video files, text files, Word document files, exe files, so applications, MSI files, so installer files, DLL files, and LNK, which is shortcut. and else. So if it has none of these formats, we add it to the Explorer with the icon number 1. And if you look, number 1 is new icon. Now this has a 0, the image list has a 0 based index. Now what does that mean? That just means that it starts with 0 and grows. If it has a I think it's 1 based index or something, it starts with 1 and grows here. Yeah, that's it for that function. And now the show drive directories, show drive directs. Now, when is this function called? It's just, what it does is it actually okay, how should I say that? Okay, now first it clears the Explorer, the file Explorer, the list view. Then it creates a directory array and a file array. So we've got the directories and the files of the directory we're in. So this happens every time we double click on a folder. Okay, let's have a better example. Sorry. So okay, now if we double click on that folder, what it does is it creates one array for every single, one array for all the files, which are only files, and one array for directories. In this folder we haven't got any directories, but this is a directory, this is a directory, and yeah, that's what it does here. Then it goes through the directories and adds it to the file Explorer and to the tree view, the Drive Explorer, and then it assigns the icons. That's what we've just written, and it gives the files array, which we've got here, and then CBX address, that's just the address bar here, combo box address, equals tree view directories.selected node, the text. That just means this. Now this function is called if you click here, then it is called, and then this is the text of the selected element in here. That's just what it does. And we have written all that in a try statement, and that's just because of any error. Normally if you would not write that try statement, the application would crash, and we don't want that, so we try then catch exception X, and then we show a message box error plus X, that message that just shows what the error is. And go to directory. This function is called when the user, you can see there, presses enter in the address bar. So we've another time we've got the try statement, and you can read here, this is almost the same as above. The only difference is that, look, you've got this, we already know that, but this time we don't have to add it to the tree view, and assign icons, and then we edit. This is actually for adding it to the history of the address bar. So if the item already exists in the address bar, so if the list of item contains the text of the address bar, so now let's have some stuff in there just for that. Okay, so if I now double click a folder, it checks if that list contains the actual text. So this is the text, and if the list not contains the text, it adds it to the list. So that's what it does. If it is false, so that if it does not contain it, it adds it to the collection. And there's our message box. It's just, yeah. Next is the next part is just the context menu strip, so all the items that you can click. Now if you large, that's just this large, small, and list. These are just the views, so you explorer.view equals view.large icon, and that's the same, just with small icon and list on the items. The close is just this.dispose. That closes the whole application, or the actual form, but we have only got one form, so. Next is the LVW Explorer double click. This just happens if you double click an item. And what we do is we write, you can read everything here, you write the name of the clicked item into a string, and you just have the string directory, which I call direct, and then the selected item, so it's a collection because you can, as you can see, you can select many items by holding Control or Shift, and so it's a collection. And then we just want 0. This is another time a 0 based index, so we want the first item, which is the index 0. That text, so the text of the element, what we want to write in the string, and the text is always the path. That's a little kind of bug that I didn't have time to fix. It always shows the whole path instead of the file name, but to keep it simple we'll do that like that. So we have our try, and then we already did that, and we already did that too. That's actually wrong in the tutorial, in the text tutorial I mean. Next, the now if you double click something and it's a directory, it just goes into the directory. But if it's a file, it cannot view the file because it's not a video editor or a text editor, or I mean a video player. So instead of going into a directory, there an error happens. And then we just in our catch we try opening the file. So first we set the address bar to the file. So if you try to open a file, just if I can find one, sorry. Yeah, this is a text file, just open it, and then you can see that you're at the file and you can go up. And next we say system.diagnostics.process.start. This just starts the process and directory, so this is the path of this. And if there an error happens, so if not even this works, show an error. Next is the key down of the CBX address. So if you press a key in the combo box, this happens every time. And if the key code, so if the key that it was pressed is keys.enter, so enter, go to directory, so go to the directory which was typed in the address bar. Now tree view directories after select, show drive directs. I think that's pretty clear. That just means if you click on something in the Drive Explorer, it shows it up and expands it. Next is button folder up to click. This is more of the complicated. So this is just for going one directory up, so you write the path that you're in into the string path, and the next you create is string array path split, which is path.split, and this just what this does is if you're in a path like this, it splits the path in several sections. So if what we choose here, you need a separator. So what is the thing that is between the sections, and this needs to be a char, so that's just one character. And we just new char array, and then you add that in these curly brackets. And why do we add two of them? Because one is what's called escape sequence, and I can't explain that further, but you have to add two, but it will only affect one. Now what this does is it takes the path, looks where these are, so these backslashes, and yeah, it splits it in several regions here. So it gets an array, so this is 0, 1 and 2 index, okay? And what we want to do later is we want to remove the last index, so we want to remove the last element of the list and the backslash, and then go to the directory, and then you get one folder up, okay? So if path_split.length is greater than 1, so if it does only go up if this is more than 1. So if you've only got one element, that means that you're in a drive and you cannot go up further, so it doesn't. And if you're in a folder, it's greater than 1, in this case it's 2, and then it can remove it. So then we make a string last directory, so the directory that we want to jump up to, that's just path split. So the array path split.length, so in these brackets there you have to no, sorry, I just got sidetracked. Okay, I forgot what I was talking about, so sorry if I say something again, or yeah. So we gonna try here, and here we got two strings. The first string is last directory, so that's just the last directory you're in. And now with backslash is path.replace, and that just means you've got your path variable from here, that's just the path you're in, and now you replace last directory, so the last bit of the path, which means, for example, that we replace that by null, so by nothing. And so if we would do this on this path, it will replace the last element in the split by the backslash, the last directory, with null, so with nothing. And that doesn't mean as like you press the spacebar, it just means nothing. And if you go there, you've still got the backslash, and you don't want that, okay? So we've got the string without backslash, and then you just with backslash dot remove, and you just remove the last character. So if you remove that, you remove the last, which is this. So next, if the path is a directory, do not show the backslash. If it is a drive, show it. So if the length is above 2, it's the without backslash, so the combo box .text gets the without backslash and else it gets with backslash. Just if it's below 2, it'll be okay. Let me just see if this works. Yeah, it actually does. Okay. So just to show you the function of this, if you remove that, it doesn't show the backslash, and now if you go once more, it shows the backslash, and because of it's got a backslash, the drives had always got a backslash in here too, so we want to match that up. Next we've got another try statement. We clear the Explorer, and you just show all the directories. You've got your error box, and that should not be an error box. So, and if the length equals 1, so if we've got a directory, it should show a message box. You cannot move up anymore. So if we just do that, okay, doesn't. There you are. You can't move up. Why this doesn't work on an actual drive is because of the backslash. Because it's, you've got the backslash and it counts nothing as an element too, so yeah. Next is the home button click method. That's this here. What always gets you back to this view where you can see your drives. Now all you have to do is almost exactly the same as you did in the form load. Just you clear the Explorer and the Drive Explorer, and then you do almost the same, and you set the address bar text to home. It's just something I started doing. Then the button go.click, that's the same as the method where we what is called when you press enter in the address bar. It's exactly the same. And yeah, next we've got the copy. Okay, now it gets interesting. As I said, this was requested by a user. So copy tool strip menu item, that's just this item here. And now if the LVW Explorer, so the file explorer, if the first selected item has the text, so if the first selected item's text is not nothing, and the count of selected items, so the copying only works if you've got only one item selected. It doesn't work if you've got two items selected or nothing selected. So, and what do we do then? So if you click this with an item selected, with exactly one item selected, we now clipboard.setText. So we copy a text to the clipboard. LVW Explorer.selected items 0.text. This just means the first of the selected items, and in this case we've only got one, because if we have got more or nothing, we don't do this, we do this. And yeah, and it sets the clipboard text to the text of the selected item. If it's not, so if it's more or 0 selected items, you can only copy one element at a time. Cannot copy, that's just, that's the text that is displayed. This is the title of the message box, and this is buttons, so you can make buttons OK, or buttons yes, no, or OK, cancel, and the icon. So It's just an arrow icon, it's that red X thingy. And now the paste is a bit longer, but still pretty simple. Now the path is just clipboard to get text to the text that we've got on the clipboard. Then we've got a separator, and just a jar again, and then the string original file name equals path.split separator. Okay, so we need the original file name of the file we want to copy, and that's just path.split. So split that path with the separator and take the last. So we've got the split.length, so that -1 is the last item. So you've got an array here, and we calculate the last index by saying the same array, so path.split with separator dot length -1. That's the last index. If that seems confusing, yeah. Okay, let's move on. It simply calculates the last index of the, so the, you know, if you've got the directory, it only is the last index in the array split by the backslash. Next is the target string, and that's just cbx address.text plus, again, the double backslash is just one backslash. If you only make one, it just says it just is an escape sequence, so we use 2. That means that it does not allow, so it does not count this as the end of the thing. Sorry. Plus original file name. So what we have actually got is the directory you're in plus a backslash plus the file name. Now if the if the file exists, if the target file even exists, so if you, okay, we don't actually need to open it. If you want to copy something and copy it somewhere, a file with the same file name already exists, then show a message box. Now this is just, if you type if message box to show, you just want an answer from the user. So again, the text, title, buttons, yes, no, this time yes, no, and the question equals, now you have to make double equals, dialog result dot yes, sorry, you can see, so, sorry, if the user presses yes, then do this. So what you actually do is you delete the target file. So it asks you if you want to delete or replace the file. So if you want to replace the file, you delete the original target file and copy the new file. So this is done by first file.delete, then your path, which is target, and then file.copy, path target false. Now this is just, path is the original path from where you want to copy it, target is the target, you know, and false is just if you hit yes, it will automatically replace files. So then it doesn't matter if you hit no or yes here, it will always replace the file automatically. So you wanna hit false, and then go to the directory that just refreshes the file explorer. That's our error message again, because we gotta try. We always need a catch with exception EX. Okay, we're almost done. Last bit of code. So next is the cut. It's actually pretty simple. Try if the selected items, so if you have only got one item selected, so the count is 1, you get a message box. Do you want to delete this file again with the equals dialog result equals yes. Then file.delete the selected item 0 the text, so the first selected item and probably the only selected item, the text of the only selected item. And if more, so if you've got more selected, it just message box to show you can only delete one item at a time. And then we've got our error, and then it refreshes again. So I think I'm a bit out of time, I guess, but I don't know because I got sidetracked for an hour or so. Sorry, but okay. So this is it for part 2, and if this part didn't get too long, it's the last part. Maybe this tutorial will be in 2 parts, so maybe you're already watching part 3. So okay, I'll stop talking now. So thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe if you want. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in another of my videos. Bye.